All right, welcome to Anything is Possible, How-To Tuesday. I gotta wait till my camera shows up over here so I can see if you can actually see me. So we'll take care of all that nonsense first. Let's see. Looks like you can see the box. I think that'll work. We got Bulk in, my oldest Shark member. Miss Joan, welcome in, another member. Hookset Sam. Another Sam, V8, welcome in guys tonight. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes, but we're going to be unboxing this stone set. This was recommended, hey Granny boy, this Chad Thomason, welcome in guys. This was a knife sharpening kit that Mission Discover, Nolan recommended, and then Tammy from Mom and Son's Train Rail Fans, Shark members, decided to right there order them from Amazon, so they showed up at our house. I have not sharpened knives with a stone since I was in Boy Scouts, so I know the general idea, but I waited till tonight to open this. Well, I haven't technically opened everything, so I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to get to that because I know we got to soak the stone for 10 minutes, so I'll get to that right now, and then we can chat a little bit more. All right, I have never used this. I've heard of this, but this is like a strop. Let's see. Let me actually give you the right words so I know what I'm saying here and I don't make you dumber. Let's see. Somewhere, it'll tell us what's in here. Yeah, strop. All right, let's open that up. Again, I am no professional. I haven't used all this stuff before. So we're kind of learning as we go here. You know something I don't, feel free to share and make us all smarter. But this is the leather strap. We'll get that open. My understanding is that's for like sharpening, straightening out blades. Terry B, welcome in. How'd you make out kayaking? I got swept away from work and then ended up not feeling well. And I laid down at lunchtime and woke up like an hour ago. Just exhausted from the weekend, I think. Hookset Sam, Miss Joan, Stuart, the Fish Whisperer. Nice. Yeah, I saw you were live. Yep, Stuart was live over there. Chad Thomason, Russian Wind, welcome in. Russian Wind and Chad, both members as well. Natural State Fishing, what's up? Let's see, get caught up real quick. Yeah, got our full house here. So I'm going to take everything out of this box first, just to kind of see what each item is. Because everything's wrapped in plastic. Material out of the way. Lisa Swain, Ted, what's going on? Rod's Fishing Adventures, Wendy Watson, another Shark member, welcome in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Full house already. We're sharpening knives, Ted. We're using this set right here. So this gives you what's in the box here. 400,000 grit stone, 3,000, 8,000 bamboo base for keeping it steady, a flattening stone which from my understanding is to repair stones over time, so probably don't need that tonight. The leather strap, angle guide, which we're definitely going to be using because we're beginners here. This teaches you the correct angle, and then once you learn the correct angle, you don't need that. Thick stone, flattening stone for re-leveling whetstone. So hopefully we didn't destroy the stone yet, and we won't need that. Or this one. These are both like maintenance things here. So let's take those two. What was the other one? Flattening stone. So we shouldn't need these two right off the bat. Let's hope we don't break anything. they're labeled. So we have the 3,000 and the 8,000. Higher the number, the finer the grit, my understanding. So you flip the stones over. So first thing we got to do is get these things opened and soak it in water for 10 minutes. V8, I don't know what angle. I'm going to read the directions as I go. I haven't sharpened with this type of sharpener since Boy Scouts. And I had it down by feel. And then I guess I tried this a couple times over the years, and I got worse at it. And I got like electric sharpeners, and I was never really happy with the quality of them. So I got to kind of relearn myself here. So I'm going to go back to the basics. Sam's heading out. All right, Sam, catch you later, buddy. I got you. Sam's a busy young man. It's a school night, probably got homework and all other kinds of responsibilities that us adults don't have. And a little bit more water in there. There we go. All right, start the clock. We're going to let that soak at 10 minutes. Let me see what angle we're supposed to use here. Sam from V8 said 22% is what he prefers. Here you read, fully immerse whetstones in water and soak until bubbles no longer appear. About 10 minutes. Place whetstones together with the rubber base on a steady surface. Use the lower grit of whetstone for rough grinding. Move the blade back and forth at an edge of 10 to 30 degrees. So 22 would be right in the middle, V8. Angle depends on what you were doing with the knife. I use cold steel knives, and they only need sharpened maybe once a year, depending on how much I use it. Yeah, the article that I got with this box suggested doing it monthly just to maintain it. That being said, man, I got in a bad habit of just not sharpening them. I just go out and buy a new knife. So we got a lot of knives. I'm only going to do a couple of my fishing knives to begin with. So yeah, maybe you'll learn from my failures tonight. I got you, Stuart. Yeah, that's for later tonight. That's not this live, but I got you. We do have a members only live following this live tonight, where we're going to do some giveaways and merch and stuff. Stool. Let's see if I can get all the packaging open without cutting myself. I'm guessing this goes on the back, but I'm going to read the instructions. I don't want to guess. How's everyone doing tonight? Anyone frozen? Anyone out fishing? Or you guys all frozen up too? We basically have a bunch of thin ice here in Pennsylvania. We got out Sunday. And we only had like an hour and a half, but we got some ice fishing in. Kev caught a nice brown trout, but that was about it. It was kind of a quiet weekend. Till the hunting, I got a few secrets for the next video I don't want to share yet, but had a pretty epic weekend. But on the ice and on the water, it was pretty slow. Wild Japan, welcome in. Reports for work, that sounds horrible. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Russian wind, welcome, welcome. 15 to 20 is a good start. Yeah, okay. All right. And 15 to 20, obviously, I try to keep these how-to Tuesdays pretty simple, because not everybody's going to be like Ted or Sam that have been doing this their whole lives. A lot of folks are going to be beginners and never did you know, I never went through Boy Scouts. I don't even know if there's still Boy Scout troops out there. It seems like a dying off thing. But it's just, you know, the degree at which you, you know, put the blade on the stone. If this is the stone, you know, this would be 0, this would be 90. So in the middle, 45. You know, middle of that, like 22. So you're kind of a quarter of a quarter would be, you know, 22, 23, something like that. So that's probably a good range for beginners because it's like easy to picture, right? Something like that. I'm going to try to figure out the cheating thing here though. And they suggest to use this in the beginning because it'll teach you, it'll train you. So let me find this angle guide. Angle guide keeps correct angle. All right, so the whetstones are done bubbling, so I think they're ready. So let's pull out. We want to start with the low grit, I believe. Let's do it together over base. Yeah, use the lowest side first, so that's going to be 3,000 on that one. And on this one we have 400 and 1,000. So this is a rough stone to start with. So if we're starting with lowest to highest, we'll sharpen here. We'll flip this stone, sharpen it on 1,000. And then we'll finish it off, you know, 3,000 and finally 8,000. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that's how I would think that should be done. And make sure you guys can see the table. 400. Now, is this also going here? Yeah, so that all fits into there. I got you. Okay. Randy, welcome in. Randy Swain is in the house. Curbside. I almost missed you going through. Good morning. Good morning. It's, oh, that's almost morning. It's almost midnight over there. Thanks for coming in. All right. Angle guide. Instructions for use. Place the angle guide on top of the knife. Print small. I'm having trouble reading it. Okay. With one hand on the knife and the other tip on the blade. All right. All right, knife. So it looks like the cheater blade here is like that. Okay. Now I got to figure out the motion. Use the lower grit side of the whetstone for rough grinding. And since I haven't sharpened these ever, I'm going to start with the rough grinding. If you're already, if they're already been sharp, you might be able to skip right to like the more fine stuff. But again, we're doing this from scratch, first time through, not professionals. And by the time I'm done here, I'm going to be able to shave with this, Anthony. Starting with the tip of the blade, let's see. Use the lower grit side of the whetstone for rough grinding. Move the blade back and forth at an angle of 10 to 30 degrees, applying gentle pressures. Starting at the tip of the blade, continue through the middle section. And finish at the base. Continue to apply water while sharpening. Yeah, okay. Make sure you guys can see this. Sorry, my computer's on a delay, so if you see me staring at it, it's just to make sure that you guys can see this. Definitely you know what? I don't like that. I guess if I don't shave with it at the end, there's no proof that it worked, right? So I definitely need to shave with it. Anthony makes a good point there. I used to make like circular motions. I don't know if that's still the preferred method. I'll look up in a minute and see how wrong I'm doing this. You guys will straighten me out. It says to reapply water, so I'm just going to dip it occasionally. Chad, you're supposed to bring the first aid kit. I was processing a deer this weekend in 8 degrees and dropped the knife in the snow, and I went to pick it up and my finger hit the blade. So I just got that thing closed up. So this is gonna be great. I'm gonna start with a big cut in my hand. Let me see how many passes it suggests I make, because I got to do this 3 more times on different grit stones. Yeah, that's probably, it's probably good on that side. We're going to learn as we go, I'm sure. I'm going to lay the cheek guide right there to just kind of remind me of the angle. Again, 90, 45, 20, so like 10-ish, somewhere around there. I know somebody's watching saying, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing it that way. So just tell me what I'm doing wrong. But I was taught to do the circles. But let me see what it said about doing the circles or not doing the circles. Move the blade back and forth at an angle of 10 to 30, applying gentle pressure, starting with the tip of the blade, continuing through the middle of the blade. Yeah, curbside and scouts, I'm pretty sure we use like, I think it was called honing oil, something like that. This was very clear on only use water. I don't know what the difference is, but I'm going to follow the instructions that they gave me with this box. Mission Discover used this. He worked in like a grocery store here in the US, and one of his jobs in the kitchen was sharpening stones. And apparently they swear by this set. And it does seem like a legit setup. Sometimes the basic stones are the best. I kind of started cheating with all this other stuff that seemed easier. But like I would run it through the sharpener, and it's just like, think about running it through these, like the Y type and the other ones that you can put into the electric. You know, unless you get a really good one, like there's just no way to do it with like one grit. My understanding is like sandpaper. You got to start with the rough and work your way down. Otherwise, it just doesn't seem to make sense. All right, let's go on and do 3,000 grit. Maybe I'll try my cheat sheet again. I feel like this is for like a bigger knife. So I don't know if this will. Yeah, here we go. I know you want to use the whole stone. One of the tips it pointed out was to use the whole blade, but also use the whole stone, or else over time the stone will wear down, and that's when you have to, I guess, fix it with the other 2 stones that it gave you. This would be a good time to read the other tips. Says, start with the lower grit side for a few minutes to get the back of your knife in good shape. Then flip over and sharpen on the higher grit side to make your knife super sharp. You should do this weekly. Once your knife is sharp, this should only take a minute or two. There is no one right technique in using a stone. YouTube it. Not me. YouTube somebody else who knows what they're doing. Only use water, not oil. Use the entire surface of the stone to keep the surface even. Once you are skilled, you will not need a knife angle guide. Do not drop your stone. And Chad, this is second from last. This should be right at the top. Knives are dangerous. Be careful. And lastly, keep away from Kevin. Keep away from children. So let's run this through. I like how like everybody does that. I don't know how you know that it's sharp. I guess you feel it bite. But yeah, I can definitely feel an edge on it, which is good. That knife was in rough shape. Yo, John, welcome in. There's Small Water Charters. Some great channels hanging out in here. Appreciate y'all coming in. Let me catch up real quick here. V8 said I got lazy and bought a belt sander to sharpen my knives. Let's see. Yeah, that's possible curbside. Maybe when you get into real fine stuff. I use Arkansas stones with water and a drop or two of dish soap. Curbside said I go up to 3,000 grit, wet and dry when wet sanding car paint. Very fine, 3,000. Make sure to do even swipes, same on both sides. Yeah, that's definitely a little technique to that, Sam. Like you start out, like I can go in the one direction when I flipped the knife. I definitely need some practice on that. Chad said once you get the knife ground to your angle, then go lighter grit. Heavy is great for the nicks in the blade. Yep. Yeah, there's Tim. Welcome in. Tim likes to fish and hunt. Another member. Thank you. I said those sharpening steels seem to work well, at least for keeping a fresh edge. Yeah, it could be that these just are so bad that once I get this done, maybe I can cheat and use something real quick. Run the blade through. Yeah, that's kind of what I had. I had a two-stone technique. I was never happy with it. Yeah, Stuart and John, last week we were trying to dump our live into John's Small Water Charters, but he was on Doc's channel last Friday. So we sent everybody to the wrong place, and then Stuart was doing a live. He's like, I'll end my live when I see John go live. And it was a whole debacle. That was my fault. Butterflies and sunshine. How did Mr. Evans make out today? I saw he was ice fishing. Let me know. I'm curious how he did today. If he found some fish through that ice. I think when I was watching, he caught 2 bass. But both times, of course, he was having technical issues when the fish decided to bite. Anthony J said, he finished my playlist today. Feels like I know your life now. Dude, that's pretty much my life for the last 5 years right there on that playlist. That or like in a soul-sucking job. That's it. And sleep. We do some untelevised, but I mean, we try to run the cameras as much as possible. Chad said, it takes me a couple sessions to get one good. All right, everyone's saying hello to each other. All right, we're jumping to the 3,000, about 8,000. We're on the last one here. I don't know how wet to keep the stone. It says to keep the stone wet. That's definitely a lot sharper. It's definitely a lot sharper. I think I can do a lot better, but I think it's just going to take some time. So that's my caper knife here. You'll want to watch the next video. We got a lot of use out of that this weekend. I want to go to a fishing knife. Now this knife I know is already perfect because I just bought it. It's super sharp and I almost cut my finger off with it. So that's a good one to compare the edge with. This is a relatively new knife, but I've used it a lot to clean. It's pretty much my go-to, so I really want to use this one. This looks deadly, by the way, with the sharpening stone. I'm not going to make too many passes at 400 because I think since this is such a new knife, it probably doesn't need too much repair. It probably just needs a fresh, good edge to it. So, Tasha Jarvis, welcome in. That's not a knife. This is a knife. I'm glad you guys got that that reference. I wonder what Bulk thinks of that movie. If Bulk's in the house, I'm really curious on what Bulk thinks about Crocodile Dundee, because it's like a total Aussie type movie here. I don't know where to put this on the long blade. Use that. It's still nice, like, to have that sitting there just as like a guide, because you can see it and kind of guide you on the right angle. I do like 10. I don't know if that's... I try to keep it the same on both sides. So I'll probably just do 10 on one side, 10 on the other, 10 back on the other side, and then 10 on the other. And then we'll flip this. I think part of my fear with doing this is like I made it worse. So now that I have a really good knife that I'm not sharpening, I feel like it's okay. If I screw it up a little bit, at least I still have a go-to knife. But these knives right here are completely useless. They're so dull. So I can't make them any worse, right? I don't know what time it is over in Australia. I think they're like, I think it might be like early morning, so you might be going to work or something. It's probably like 7 a.m. I feel like they're like 12 hours. Northeast Slab Hunter, what's going on? You guys finding any ice up that way? We were up in Lehighton this weekend, Northeast. We were up in the Northeast. I don't want to give away where we were, but we were in the Northeast. And ice was, man, we'd go by one lake and it was completely open. We'd go to the next one and it was like frozen. We found one, we got out there and it was maybe 4 inches. So we fished that one. I wish it would just decide what it wanted to do, be winter or spring, but everything's like melting right now again. So probably not going to be able to do ice fishing this coming weekend, which I wanted to do. I wanted to go up to a lake and spend the whole day and set the ice shack up and get a really good long live going inside the tent where it's warm and I could keep the batteries running. But I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, that one feels pretty sharp already, so I'm going to go right to the finer grit. We have 3,000 and 8,000. I'm gonna hit it on the 3,000, I think. It says it should only take you a couple minutes once you learn how to do this, so I believe it. It's just a lot of equipment, I guess. But I'm gonna find a spot where I can leave this set up, and so that I can make a habit of doing this, and then I don't wait 3 years before sharpening them. I guess the test is going to be the next time I get a fish, if I can slide the skin off without jackhammering back and forth on the blade. I guess that'll be the proof. You guys will watch my next live, you'll know. I won't be able to hide my knife sharpening skills or lack of it. It's nothing like when you get a new nice sharp edge and you cut through a fish. You really know, then you know what you've been missing. You get caught up here. It's an awesome set, man. It doesn't do me justice. This is what it came in. It's an awesome looking set. Highly recommended by Mission Discover. And that dude knows his stuff. He is like, I don't know the right word for it, but like as far as understanding like technologies, and he's a thinker. He's very analytical. So I'm not like that at all, but I listen to people that are like that. You got to know when somebody's got a niche that they're really good at. You got to value that niche, and that's if you look at his stuff, he's very like technical minded. So yeah, I enjoy watching his content because that's not my strength area. I'm like a caveman. Need a butcher steel to keep it fresh while cutting. Chad, tell me more about that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Northeast. I wanted to get back up there. We didn't have the time. We only spent maybe 2 hours up there. Northeast said Toby Hannon was good, which is like the local lake for us. We were in that area, maybe 4 or 5, depending where you are, and then you're looking like 200 yards away. There's open water because there's a spring. So you know there's probably some 2.5 inch, there's 3-inch ice on the way to the open water. Gets a little sketchy, and yeah, I don't know. This week I don't know where to go. High Point Lake had 9 inches. Man, I would think it would, Tim. 9 inches is pretty good. Yeah, please hit the like button if you haven't. I'm seeing if Chad responded the butcher steel. What I think of a butcher steel is like that diamond thing, sword, where you're. But maybe is that what? Are they really just super fine and they keep that little edge on them? I'd be curious to know. Like, is that equivalent to like running it across 8,000 grit then? I think it's just one of those things you have to do. Because I remember just bringing out my pocket knife in Scouts and doing it. There was like no hesitation. I just had the angle, and I mean, I would do it all the time. Every camping trip, something I would do to pass the time. And I never had an issue. I would cut through back in the day. I was a big squirrel hunter. I just whip out my little Boy Scout pocket knife and cut them things up like it was nothing. I had more trouble as an adult. Let me get the. I think it worked, Dad. That feels a lot sharper. It's like when you run it on your fingernail, you know, when it bites a little bit. I'm gonna put that one over here because that one's done. Now I can chat more while I do the others. I'm going to stop being so careful and really kind of lay into them now. Tammy! Tammy's in from Mom and Sons. Tammy and Ray. Got your knife set. We opened it up. We unpackaged it. We read the directions, read the instructions and the tips. And we're started in. Came with the 2 stones, 8,000, 3,000 grit, 400, 1,000. The leather stropping for like straightening out and I think removing burrs. Some tools to fix stones as they age and get damaged. And this is like a spot, like if you have grooves, I think that to grind those spots out on the actual stone. And then it has a nice little cheat guide in it that teaches you the proper angle of the knife. So thanks so much. This is something we desperately needed. So, man, it's one of those things I probably never would have gotten around to getting, and I would have just dealt with bad knives. I got all these knives laying here that I don't use. So now I can put them all back into use. Yeah, thanks, Stuart. Thanks for the reminder there. Awesome, Chad. Yeah. I'll definitely take you up on that. We'll do a StreamYard knife sharpening sometime. And you can school me. Chad looks like a dude that knows his way around knives, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. That's the type of guy that can drop an engine, you know. I see him out there working on his outboards and I still have trouble doing the one side. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong on the other side. It just feels so unnatural. Y'all know a piece of paper dulls your knife more than 10 cuts through meat, allegedly. I heard it on the internet, so it should be true. That's right. The leather strap is the finisher last step. Alright, let me hook this thing up because I do have that one that's done, so let's do it the right way, I guess. Okay, place angle knife. Alright, how to use the leather strap. Here we go. Stropping is the method of polishing and straightening the blades of your knife. Stropping uses a similar method as sharpening stones with two distinct differences. Instead of leading with the cutting edge, you will drag the angle of the blade much. Is that a sentence? Stropping uses a similar method as the sharpening stone with two distinct differences. Instead of leading with the cutting edge, you will drag the angle of the blade is much more forgiving. I feel like they missed a sentence there, but I got it. I'm going to start with the butt of the knife. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Hey, Masha. Masha's in from Mayhem and Miracles. Appreciate you coming over here. Chad said his boss about lost his fingers every time. Well, with this thing, I just might. Yep, sharpening and honing. So is from a literary standpoint, honing, I always think of like honing your skills. So I'm guessing honing is like, you probably clarified this, but I'm guessing honing is, I don't know. I would think honing is the last step, like actually making them super sharp, but maybe not. Awesome, Chad. You seem like a butcher type. I'm not surprised by that. All right, so I need an answer to this one, Chad. Which side of the strop do I use? The finished off cool side or the back side of it? I'm not sure. I can't tell by the image here. Maybe the box has a better image. And why does that look connected? Am I supposed to connect this? Am I supposed to wear this, Chad? I don't know if I'm doing this right, Anthony. Come here, kid. Where's Kevin? Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. I'm gonna just clean the edges off. Well, this one I still have to do. This is the one that's finished. They showed it this way. I don't know. Probably ruining the whole thing. Start with the butt of the knife. It felt right. I don't know. It felt right. All right. Where were we on this thing? I know. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, just sharpen my knife, and I'm sitting there running it through this strap. It's leather. Literally, is what my knives are sharpened to do, is to cut through leather. I forget what stone I'm on. I'm going to pick up for the 1,000, and then I'm going to finish these guys off. But this one I'm grinding a lot harder than the other ones, because this I used for the last 3 seasons, and it's beat to death, so I know it needs a lot of grinding. So yeah, I just wanted to hop up tonight and show you this for a Tuesday night live, something different. I think next week we're talking about flathead fishing. So if you guys have ideas for future lives on the How-To Tuesdays, I'll be brave and I'll cover almost anything, whether I'm good at it or not. And I'll tell you if I'm good at it or not. There's a lot I'm good at, but there's more things that I'm not good at. But I will cover it. Give us something to talk about. All right, so onto the 3000 grit. Use that. Yeah, next Tuesday is going to be how we flathead fish. And I'll talk about where we fish, you know, the type of water, because obviously it's going to be different depending on where you fish. But somebody asked us about that, and I know they asked us because they fish the same body of water. So it's a very local person asking this. So they want to know for very specific reasons. But it's very useful information. You act like you know everything, you're never going to learn anything. You got to be willing to learn. You can always learn something. I've caught up more fish than most people, unless you're a butcher like Chad. But when I was in Alaska, that's all we did. It's just, I guided, but I feel like more than a guide, I was chopping fish. Cutting fish all night long up there. And you get good at what you do a lot, so it's good to listen to people that actually are experts. How to flathead fish is that all catfish are allergic to bait. Blame Chad for that. I don't follow. What are you saying? Stuart, go to bed. Go to bed, Stuart. You're tired. I do want to show you two things before the live's over. Two gifts I got. We did late Christmas with my parents. My dad was in the hospital recently, so he just got out. So we just got up there this past weekend to visit and do a late Christmas. And we got one of those redneck families where you always get redneck gifts. So there's one or two things I wanted to show you down here. There's two things. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm sure Ted's busy and he's gone, but I bet you Ted knows about this stuff. Deer cane, let me know what you think. Any tips on this? I always thought of salt blocks, and this is to feed deer, mineral supplements. I always thought of supplements for the summer, but some people tell me that it's good all year round. I've also found that it's best on like high ground, not in swamps. So I'm kind of curious on that. Yeah, I hope the bite is good too, butterflies and sunshine. That was our first year really chasing them, and we were pretty happy with it. We want to go out a lot more this year. Don't you start with and Jerry was yawning like a Yeah, Jerry yawns a lot on his lives too. I don't know why he doesn't have much room to talk. The other, I haven't opened this one yet. Swiss Tech Stalin knife. I'm going to open this one up. Let me clean my area a little bit. We are done hunting here for the year. We've harvested what we were going to harvest. We hit our quota for our property that we manage. So now we just have to make sure the herd gets through the winter. So we make sure that they have some feed when the winter hits and gets snow, and we make sure they can get around. We make sure they have minerals that they need so that next year we've got more fish to harvest. This is a very heavy knife. Now, there's all kinds of tips in this one here. Top notch. You take off the safety device. Comes with this plastic sometimes. You have to get through it before you can start throwing the spark. 45, Striking notch on the spine is made for this rod to throw sparks. That's the curve. There you go. Yeah, there it's going now. Cool little fire starter on the back of it. Little flint. Flints are nice. I always carried, you guys heard me talking about racing in Alaska. I'd carry a lighter because it's the easiest way to start a fire. But if it gets wet, it's totally useless. I carry matches, but there's times where you can run out of matches. And I would carry this, like a flint was always my third option. And I always carried 3 different options because you needed fire up there. Cool little harness here. Got a little rope for the bottom. Oh, if I put it in the right way. Okay. It's pretty cool. It's got a little buckle in there like that. A little flint starter right there. Mission discovered like this. This looks like something he'd be down for. Lanyard hole, titanium coating. Just making sure I'm not missing anything on this. Looks like it's, yeah, it goes in this way. There it goes. Snaps in hard. I was afraid to go in too hard. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this knife. That's cool. Swiss Tech. I wonder if it's got a full blade that you can switch out. It might have one of those blades that it's a blade on both ends. You can pop it out and switch it. I'll read up on it more off air. That's my new knife. Let's see what we got going on here. Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla came in. Swiss Tech. Sounds good, don't it? Bulk sent me a video I'll send to you on how to use the leather belt. Okay. Hunting and Stuff with J&J. Thanks for coming in. Welcome, welcome. I'm just kind of finishing up here. Played around with some knives. Tried to sharpen some knives, and I'm going to sharpen more a little bit later. Corn and big white cattle block is the cheapest way. Yeah, that's, the cattle block's what, pure salt, right? And that's probably the most important thing. Again, that's probably summer, right? I think that's more a summer thing, dehydration, and like, it's like their Gatorade. And here in our county, we're allowed to bait, I guess you call it. You're allowed to put, you have to have an electric feeder. You don't have to, but if you're going to bait corn, the only legal way to do it is by feeding it through an electronic thrower that's set. And I think you can throw it 3 times a day, up to like 6 seconds each time, something like that. So that's kind of what we do. We max it out. We don't start feeding them till this time of year, depending on the weather. Because like around here, we really haven't had snow in like 3 years. And then we got a young herd. These deer haven't even seen snow. And then we got, what, 3 inches and then 8 inches on top of that. And I'll tell you, those deer came in, you know, we harvested one pretty quick, but after that, a lot more came through. The last couple of nights they've been eating, so which tells me they needed that. And we're surrounded by cornfields, so they go through all this corn food, but then, you know, the farmers pick it all up and they harvest it, and it's just like left bare. You know, they don't leave a lot standing. So all those young ones, I think, because of that, I'm sure that they're in bad shape come winter, late winter. Stuart is on hand with thread in case the finger reattachment. Gypsy, are you on the knife? Swiss Tech Stallern. I don't know who the maker is, if that's Swiss Tech. I would think it's Swiss Tech. It says, inspired by legendary Swiss design, And proven ability of classic bushcraft blades. The Stahlhorn provides, that's, yeah, who makes it? Stahlhorn sounds like the model. It's gotta be Swiss Tech, right? I think it's Swiss Tech. Maybe I already answered that. Probably behind in chat. Bank Fishing Adventure, Stacy's in the house. What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in. We're just heading out, actually. Every Tuesday, we're going to keep doing these lives from 7 to 8. And if you have anything you want to cover and discuss, let me know. I know Stuart and I want to do a fly fishing episode, preferably when we can actually fly fish and we have water and not ice. Chad tonight suggested him and I do a knife sharpening, so that would definitely be awesome. We'll do another knife sharpening where I can have Chad the butcher, president and butcher, on the panel. That would be awesome. Other than that, man, it's we got a video coming out Friday. Fishing this week is a little up in the air because of the weather, but we're probably going to do a good bit of hunting content in the next few weeks. Did a lot of recording lately, got a lot of content to share with you guys. And as you can see, if I need to hint at what my content's going to be, you can see the knives I have sharpening or need to sharpen tonight. So got a whole lot, and we don't go to a butcher. We put the butchering in butcher here. So you're going to see some content that hopefully doesn't get me kicked off of YouTube. I'm 18 hours away from monetization, full monetization. We were 2 hours away, but 3 nights ago, and then we lost 200 hours overnight. And then tonight we're back to 18. So I don't know what YouTube's doing, auditing or whatever they do, but not gonna worry about it. I'm sure we're gonna hit it one of these days. I really just probably need to do like a 4-hour live, but just haven't had time, and I haven't really had anything worthy to share, and I don't want to just do a live where I chat because even an hour I run out of things to say. President Chad the Butcher. I feel like if Chad wins a hat tonight at the members only live, which is in 7 minutes, we got the members only live starting in 7 minutes. I think if Chad wins a hat tonight, I'm gonna order it, get it sent here, and I'm gonna autograph the under part of the lid. President Chad the Butcher. That would be epic. But yeah, I appreciate it. We got a lot of members now, so if you can click on join and it gives you the breakdown. The minnows for 99 cents, chubs are $1.99, and then sharks are $5.99 or $4.99, and that's each month. And you can discontinue whenever you want. It's just money that helps us out, do what we love to do and travel. And then as a thank you, we do a monthly members giveaway where we just chat members only and hang out. And we, depending on how many members we have, what the money is coming through, a lot of it goes right back to you guys in the form of giveaways with merch and things like that. So that's kind of the idea. I do. Stacy, I ran out what to say at 7:05 tonight. I was totally out of things to say. The money definitely helps. Like that's, I'm ready to hit 4K. And I feel like you get more money from your members than you'll ever get from YouTube. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm trying to hit these goals. And it comes down to making your viewers happy and putting out cool content. And I've been doing a few riding lives, and my thought is I don't want to have a bad health lifestyle. So I want to, I don't want to be preachy either, but there's more to life than just fishing. You got to exercise, you got to stay in some type of shape. And to me, it's all about being in the outdoors. Like when I'm exercising, I'm usually out in the woods, and my buddy, him and I ride mountain bikes all the time, and he used to before he got sick. And we always are out on bikes. But I'll tell you what we do is we're always looking for fishing spots on our bikes. So to me, it's all connected. Monday was a great night. Bob and I were on a call. It was great fun. Yep, good time. First time I saw Bulk in person, so he does exist. Great knife show, practice makes perfect. Chad, I'm going to be practicing a whole lot once I turn the camera off. I don't want to do anything stupid on camera. So I know you hooligans, you'll never let it live. You'll never let me live it down. Yep. All right, y'all, I think it's time to shut this thing down so I can go upstairs and put my makeup on for the members only live. Thank you all for coming in. Hope it was worth a view. If you're watching this after the case, let me know if you saw me doing anything wrong or you got any tips, share them with me. That's how we're all going to learn and get better. Otherwise, I'll see you on the water, hopefully, not in the basement again, but you all be well. Thanks for coming in. See you guys in chat. I'm outie. I got to walk over there and turn it off, though. Oh, Lord.